Hey, everybody. And I think that was the announcement. How's everybody doing? I was sitting here sorting through coins, thinking about, putting together a particular collection of all the states and what have you. Whoa, don't want to do that. Sorry. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Doing state coins and what have you, because I'm kind of part of the coin collector community. I just don't know enough to be worth anything. And I started thinking about some of Brew Dog. What's going on, my friend? Started thinking about some of the soils and all the different areas, and thinking about the conditions that different people deal with. And I've still got certain people telling me that the soil in their yard is so specific that I need to see pictures of to be able to tell them how to follow the guidebook. Yeah, I gave it all to the Kids for Cancer, buddy. Didn't she tell you? I thought she knew. And why aren't you? Oh, you just aren't around. And what are you doing home from work? Wait a minute. Like that matters, right? All right, that's got it. The guide is the same no matter what state you're in, no matter what soil conditions you have. It doesn't matter. To reclaim your Ozarks clay, your sandy Florida materials, your barren wastelands in Texas, it's all the same. You follow the same principles, you follow the same guidelines to restore topsoil from clay. Oh no. Oh man, I hope it's not too bad. Uh, and some people seem to think that for whatever reason, their soils in their yard are the most specific on the planet and need my individual attention for this system to work. That's not true in any way, shape, or form. The only place that this system would need to be adapted would be like High Plains Sierra or oh right, I got you, Brewdog. That's awesome. Still keep him in my prayers just in case, because you never know. There's always the after effect. A few days later, unless you were in Egypt, I can't even see places in Mexico that would be any adaptation from this system. This is nature's way. The idea that nature doesn't exist in somebody's yard anywhere on the planet really screws with my head. Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. Just means you got to slow down a little bit, not much, and get ready to start spoiling them. Hey, Robert, what's going on? Yeah, right. It's the new snowblower that caused caused Washington D.C. to have absolutely perfect weather all winter. Absolutely, it's your fault. Yeah, it hasn't been great. I needed 10. Mathematically speaking, I needed 10 snowstorms to break even this year, we've had 4. So yeah, this will be my last season as a private plower. Um, I'm not going to do it anymore. It's cost ineffective. As long as those people are in Washington D.C. Manipulating the weather so that they don't get cold, or their $5,000 pair of shoes don't get dirty. Yeah, we're just going to keep suffering here in Ohio, and it's going to have an adverse effect globally. Mark my words, it's coming. You can't keep manipulating the weather like this and not expect Mother Nature. And think about it. I mean, there are 12 different active volcanoes throughout the United States, and including Hawaii and what have you. 4 of them have gone majorly active. And we're not even talking Yellowstone Park, which is one of the biggest. But they've gone active, and they haven't been active in many, many, many years because of the global situation, the tectonic plates, the weight, the this, the that. I mean, all of this has an adverse effect. And anytime you push one domino, another domino is going to fall. So, they're trying this weather manipulation stuff, and it's going to have an effect. We're going to see it globally. Yeah, you guys are fine. Um, you know, you talk to any of the actual Yellowstone scientists, and I happened to hear something 2 nights ago on George Norrie. He had a what do they call him? Volcanologist from Yellowstone Park. He was introducing a new book that he had just released on something else, um, and nothing new is happening at Yellowstone Park. Everybody's freaking out because of this, that, or the other, and no, it's on its normal schedule. The nothing has changed, and the nice thing about Yellowstone Park is with all the different vents, it never builds to a catastrophe state. The venting is continuing to happen normally the way it should and taking care of its own problems. Um, they all want to keep pointing at Yellowstone Park. Oh my God, we're going to have this. Well, yeah, you people that want to keep screaming and yelling about these problems and not looking at the real issues, y'all need to go live on a different planet. Just go. Just call Scotty and beam the hell off this planet because you don't get it. Mother Nature's been here for billions of years. And for us idiots to think, there's Robert over there buying a brand new snowblower, and now we got no snow. Thanks, Robert. Uh, you know, Stop screwing around with Mother Nature and let Mother Nature do her thing. We'd survive just fine. I get it, Robert. If they'd quit manipulating the weather, you'd have snow like you used to. But they want to keep screwing around with things, and they keep burying this information because God forbid we talk about it, about Fukushima, that the nuclear plant that melted down, that is still in meltdown. And they've done absolutely nothing about it. And they're not planning on it. They've wiped out the Pacific Ocean. Most of the ocean life has died because of the radiation going directly into the Pacific Ocean. Um, um, Birth defects from whales and dolphins and extreme. They haven't even come up with the sharks yet. But most everything is dying. They changed the accepted radiation levels from, what was it, 40 rads? 40 rads an hour is okay, um, to 4,000 rads an hour. And not told anybody in California. So all these people sitting in California are just being irradiated ungodly. I mean, that might be why Democrats vote the way they vote in California, because the brain mass is deteriorating from all the radiation. Uh, but the powers that be in Washington, D.C. say that 4,000 rads an hour is perfectly acceptable. That's almost as much as you get from an X-ray. So it'd be like sitting in an X-ray machine for hour on end, all day long in California. It's whatever. As it Bernie said, he knows better than everybody else. He has ripped us off for billions. He's never worked a day in his life at a real job, but he's going to tell society how to do things. Go figure, right? Anyways, not to be political. Hello, everybody. I see 9 of you have entered the room. I'm shocked. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, before I got all political and went that direction, I was talking about people's misconception of the guide of my book, and how they have this concept that the conditions in their yard are very specific to the entire planet. That Mother Nature works in a completely different way in their yard, and only in their yard. And that requires my individual attention to tell them to just follow the guide, which is just Mother Nature's way. We're just following Mother Nature's way. Letting Mother Nature do her own thing and giving her some assistance in the process. We all have clay conditions. A little bit of Epsom salt. It's amazing. It's amazing what it does to clay. People are asking, well, what do I do? How do I approach this? How do I just throw it down by hand? I don't care. Whatever it takes to get Epsom salt from the bag that you buy onto the ground. I don't care. Obviously, don't build mountains of it. Easiest way would be with a hose end sprayer and let it mix as it sprays out. Irregardless. And if you've been on the NPK process, this it's all coming together in my mind, and it's scary what they've done and what they're continuing to do and what they plan on doing. And the advent of 5G just makes it that much worse. I mean, none of you are ever going to get close enough to one of these towers to understand that the thickness of the power wire going to this thing and going to these 5G towers isn't anywhere near the amount of power that they're using currently. They've only got the power turned up to about 10%. When they crank that thing up to 100%, people are going to be dropping dead from the radiation from 5G. It's that bad. I don't know how to counter 5G. I know that they're coming up with these glue-on antennas that you can put on a 5G phone to help protect you as an individual, but other than living in a Faraday cage, there's no way to escape this. None. And every idiot on the planet is going to chase one of these phones down and want to be lightning fast like this. Come on, really, think about this. We've had 3G, then 4G, okay, and none of the cell phone companies can keep you in a signal strong enough to maintain 4G at any one time, or even 3G when that was out. They can barely hold you at 3G and 4G now when you're driving down the freeway. How is 5G going to be any better in this comparison of, well, it's like going down a dirt road and then all of a sudden jumping on a 4-lane highway? Baloney. Baloney. I gave it all to Kids for Cancer, dear. I told everybody I was doing it. There's videos on it. I got it all cut off. I'll let it grow back and we'll start over again. Then we'll give it to the Kids for Cancer again. Oh, God, that was a couple of months ago. It's been a while. But no, if your company is in support of 5G, then I would strongly suggest you let the power of the purse speak and you walk away from it and you leave that company and you tell them it's because of 5G. Because it's deadly. That thing sitting in your car radiating at 5G is deadly. Sitting in your house is deadly. It's 5G is bad for everything. You think the plants are suffering now? Wait till 5G goes full bore. And all these kids are running around screaming about how, what was that little girl screaming, how dare we do this to the planet and not fix things? How dare we allow global warming? How dare we? How dare we? While she's standing there in all oil and plastics. That's all her clothes. None of it was handmade, and her flying around the world collecting paychecks while she reads from a script. Because they tried an interview with her without a script, and she failed miserably because she had nothing to read and no knowledge. It's what's getting ready to happen is terrible, really, really terrible. And the only thing we can do is affect our own little world, our own little piece of the world. Oh, right. Look, when we had turn-in bottles for 5 cents a bottle or 2 cents a bottle or what have you, we were doing more to clean up the world than any generation. We started with paper bags at the grocery store. They're now charging you 10 cents a bag to have a paper bag. It's ridiculous. Paper bags are biodegradable. Our generation, our grandparents did more for recycling than these kids with their plastic bottles running around. Oh, I've got to have water. I've got to have my plastic bottle, and then they throw it on the beach or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We had it right. We were doing it right. We had biodegradables. We had turn-in glass. We didn't have this mass. Look at the ocean now, and all of that stuff sitting out there is plastics from their generation demanding more plastics, less glass. And now we've got an island of plastic floating out there in the Pacific, and another one starting to form in the Atlantic. Come on, really? I mean, we as a YouTube community, yeah, and I understand there have been a few YouTubers that have hit incredible numbers and started campaigns for this, that, or the other, and they are doing things to try and help the global condition. I get that. We're not that big a community, but the book, the information from the guide, can change your world, can change your house, can change the foods you're eating, and start correcting the issue. Until we follow through and drain the swamp and kick out the CDC, you kick out the FDA, we're not going to fix this. because right now it's all about them making money. I know, dear. I know. And because I'm not selling any, it's going to have to wait until I get back to work, so that I can order another case and start sending books out again. Um, I don't get it. You know, people read the book and they're astounded by the book, and they can't. They're expecting a textbook because of the way we talk about the detail. They're expecting this page after page of redundancy of complicated information, slamming them in the head, and it's not a high school or college written book. It's a story. You're going to have fun laughing at it because you're laughing at me. But the way it's written, it's just us talking to each other. It's just us having a conversation. And I'm telling you about how I screwed up. Not how you're going to, how I did. And then how I realized what I did wrong, how my neighbors had a good laugh about it, how I corrected things and the weeds went away and the soil came back and the gardens turned around instantaneously. I mean, as soon as you start using this system from this book, it's instant change. Now, yeah, when you go into the garden aspect of it, you have to be absolute. You can't skip any steps. You can't ignore anything. Or you're not going to get the results I'm talking about. You're still going to get results. Believe me, anytime you plant a garden or even just down to a small tomato and you give it everything it needs, you're going to get incredible tomatoes that you've never tasted before. But you can get them better. You can take it even further by following every step. And the end result is phenomenal. No more crop rotation, and like those that are into landscaping. Landscapers, we had a landscaper. I haven't seen him in a while. He's probably been too busy. We had a landscaper get the book, and he started selling it to his customers and selling the idea and the principle to them. Just from the information from the book, he didn't even have them buy the book. He just right out of the book explaining what he was going to do to their yards in a difference. No more chemicals, less process, and he ended up cutting more grass and making more money than he's ever made before because there was no down season. There was no downtime when the heat kicked in because your yard is retaining the moisture the way Mother Nature intended it. The NPK system stops that. The chemtrails stop that. Your own lawnmower, for that matter, stops the system from working. And when you recognize that and you go the opposite direction and you assist Mother Nature, oh my God, it's incredible what happens in your yard. Oh, um, it's not having a green thumb so much as recognizing that there's something more than just a plant, water, sunlight, and soil. There's something more. And when you pay more attention to the something more that exists in the soil, the plant rewards you in unbelievable ways. Stronger, bigger, healthier, fewer bugs, better crops, better foods, better flavors. It's it's just an understanding that everybody has forgotten. Everybody has overlooked. Meanwhile, the chemical companies are attacking the same system which is warming the planet up. Now, granted, we've only gone up 1 or 2 degrees. And yes, the planet is in itself moving in space like it normally does. None of this is new. This has been happening for billions of years. But we can make individual changes in our yards, on our farms, in our gardens that turn the entire system around in one season, in weeks, in a matter of days. You can turn things around in your yard by following this system. I've been doing it so long now, I call it brainless. That's just me, because it's just second nature to me. I still, even when I'm out snow plowing now, and I'm looking at yards and I'm looking at properties, because this last day of snow plowing was all melt, and you could see the yard, and you could see the devastation from the cold, and you could see barren wastelands, and not even out in the middle of somebody's front yard or something, and you can see where things aren't working right. You can see we have problems. And the only way around that is to go organic and to go the other direction and stop using the chemicals. Put the money back in your pocket. All righty, sweetie. We'll see you. Get some sleep. Yeah, I was just sitting here going through quarters, and it triggered a thought, and I thought I'd come on and talk and hang out with you guys and see if anybody had any questions. Because I know we're all starting to think about, hey, it's that time again. Maybe we should start looking at our yard. Maybe we should start this. Maybe we should start that. Let's go find the wizard and see what he's talking about. Maybe he's got some ideas for us. Yeah. Get the weed and feed down. It's the end of February, beginning of March. Weed and feed everything before it's too late. Get a jump on everything. Get those weed seeds knocked out. Page 16. Knock it down and get it done. Get the kids out of your hair. Kick them out of the house with a bag of this stuff and tell them to go crazy. And if they want to be silly enough and eat it, it's not going to hurt them. Unlike anything else that you would buy at the store in the NPK system and try and feed to your yard that's toxic. I mean, come on. When they have to have a warning label on the bag that this is toxic, wear gloves, wear a mask, make sure your flesh is covered. You really want to be putting that on your yard, your plants, your flowers, your trees. Everybody cries to me, well, what about the bugs? What am I going to do about the ants? Add some lemon. Put some lemon zest in there. They absolutely hate it, and it'll drive them away. They'll go someplace else. All right. Well, I don't seem to be holding a crowd, or it's the wrong time of day, or whatever. Whatever the case may be. 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't. Yeah. So I'm going to shut this off. Leanne, go get some sleep. Brew Dog, nice seeing you, buddy. We'll talk at you. Brian, best wishes to you, my friend. You guys all have a great day. I'll be around. If you got any questions, contact me below. Send me an email. Do what you need to do. Get my book. It's that time. It's that time of year. Let's grow a better yard this year. Let's grow the best garden we've ever grown with less work. Yeah, less work in the garden and get better production. Everybody should be up for that. All righty, everybody. It was nice talking to you. We'll see you. Y'all have a great day.